only a nice thing to have. It's clear that gender equality is not a cost. It's an investment in our competitiveness and growth. As Executive Vice President for Tech Sovereignty, Security and Democracy, important for our democracy, because representation matters. Women must shape our technology to ensure that our digital transformation reflects our core values in Europe: equality, openness, and respect for human dignity. So the European Commission is now acting on gender equality. We recently Women Tech EU project supporting female founders in deep tech startups. Also, we are having EU Code Week for young people, especially girls, to master the basics of coding and computation. New Women in Digital Index. This summit will bring together a community to move from fragmented initiatives to coordinated and systematic change. I very much governments, companies, educators and civil society all have a role to play here. We think that we need schools and parents that encourage girls to explore STEMing and deploying technology. At the European institutions, we are committed to achieving a digital transformation that leaves nobody behind.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, every day in my role as President, I am lucky to meet incredible women from across our continent. There are roughly two, most of all, action. That is why I'm so glad that this event is taking place here in the European Parliament. And my thanks is to fellow members, Vice President Antonella Sverna and Nina Galvez Munoz for making this week happen, and to every one of you for being here.
For this week, this particular moment. And we will come with the first speaker, I think directly.
Che si sono susseguiti e anche tutte voi che ci state ascoltando. Sono la Presidente della Fondazione Marisa Belisario, la più con ammirazione le copertine di articoli dedicati a Marisa Belisario, la prima e unica donna allora ai veri, capace di portare le ragioni delle donne al cuore della politica, dell'economia, della società in Italia e nel resto del mondo. Negli anni, ben 37, ho raccolto attorno a me migliaia di energie fino a 11 e che ha dato risultati straordinari. Le donne nel CDA erano il 5,6%, 10 anni di ritardo. Ma la realizzazione di quel sogno sono anche le oltre 600 donne alle quali negli anni abbiamo consegnato il premio Marisa Belisario, definito ormai l'Oscar delle donne. Oggi parliamo di possiamo imprimere l'acceleratore che serve. Abbiamo le competenze per non parlare della forza. Dobbiamo crederci fermamente e iniziare ad agire come un corpo solo, al di là di ogni diversità di pensiero e ideologia, al di sopra di ogni individualismo.
Funzionari ero in un altro posto. Farò il mio individual can thrive because true progress means allowing every talent to shine. Thank you very much. Grazie mille.
We must first create the conditions for every person to shine. This means building environments where people are not only present, but empowered. Where difference is not coherence. If we want a Europe that values every talent, we must model this within our walls. This is how we unlock not just individual potential. Leading in emergency rooms to game designers shaping the future of learning, we are reminded that talent does not come from privilege, it comes from passion, from perseverance, and the space to grow. At the ESC, we are committed to creating those spaces, not only because
Thank you so much. Okay, I feel incredibly privileged to be standing here today, but getting to this point was anything but I left me paralyzed. I always dreamed dreamed about becoming a space engineer and flying to space someday, but after my accident, I felt like this dream was over. After all, astronauts are still often seen as superhumans, as people who are supposed to be perfectly healthy. After passing the approval test for aerospace engineer, today, as I stand here, my dream is about to come true. I'll be flying to space soon, and I can't wait to see our planet from above. And only 8% hold leadership positions. And if we would compare these numbers to those of non-disabled men, the gap would be even larger. These are not as capable, regardless of their actual performance. In space exploration, we talk a lot about pushing boundaries, about going further than ever before. But how can we truly explore new worlds?
And resistance. It is a rough pathway, and I struggle every day to be. Going on, I opened social media, and social media gave me a new voice, a voice to speak beyond the walls of my hospital at the time, and I have witnessed with my own eyes, through my colleagues and people, how my visibility has caused both admiration and disbelief. Disbelief always related to gender. Fight your battle, save your strength to smile against who don't believe you made it so far, and make that change happen. Be resilient. Women, let's do our best. Let's do it for science, let's do it for humanity, let's do it for equality. Thank you.
Because during my whole studies, I never thought of that I could become this professor as well, because I didn't see one. So what I want to invite that and welcome, but also won't leave the space because I won't go into detail there, but it needs to be an inclusive and safe infrastructure. Because everything is evolving very fast. We're living in a digital society, and I'm in the computer science academic space since 20 years, and it didn't change a lot. So let's make sure that every girl who loves to play to be
Esistono ancora forti asimmetrie territoriali tra nord.
Mrs. Benthouse, you talked about intersectional discrimination. You know that the word intersectional, when we have it in a text here.
Sì, it's a little bit tough to answer in English, so I'll go with una resistenza che nel tempo ti lacera, quindi ci vuole grandissima forza.
It's super important to celebrate individual women's achievements and ambition. That alone won't fix the issue. So how can we make sure that the fight for gender equality, gender justice, is understood as everyone's issue and not just another burden that women must carry alone? That's what I want to answer. Thank you.
Stesse. E io porto la mia esperienza, che è un'esperienza di una fondazione nata 37 anni fa in Italia. Eppure, nessuno 37 anni, perché la parità di genere, come dicevo, non è un fatto che noi diamo la parità alla donna. La parità di genere prima è libertà.
So another thing I would like to add, I feel like these topics are like being popular sometimes, and then other times not popular anymore. So, for example, the climate crisis was like a very big topic a few years ago, and now nobody really talks about it anymore. So I feel like we should think about how we could keep this.
Positive insight on that. I should absolutely completely agree on the fact that it is a convergence of a series of elements in the systemic world we live.
1% of all the venture capital funding goes to women. Only that. So it's something we really need to change.
If we have the same opportunities as men, when we value their ideas, our leadership, our creativity, unlock the full potential of humanity. So let's be the Europe that ensures, it has already been said, speaking up when we see a bias or recognize that gender equality is not pursued, and something that is benefiting, and we have to insist on that, is benefiting everyone. To remove all discrimination from these STEM professions. Third, we need investment, mentorship, and sponsorship. Every woman who succeed, as every man as well, to work on education and also empowerment from a very early age. There are studies showing us that already when kids have 6 years old, boys feel much more confident than girls. And obviously we need to she did as well because her husband was really helping her to do it or encouraging her to do it. And her father-in-law.
Niech rozpoczynający się dziś Tydzień Równości Płci będzie kolejnym krokiem w stronę Europy, która nie tylko mówi o równości.
Today we are talking about one of the most powerful and still underutilized tapestry, which is women's talent, and how we can make sure that women have the same opportunities equally spread, is everywhere, but opportunities are not. Throughout history, women have proven their brilliance, time, and energy.
Zaangażowali niezwykłą energię, z jaką od lat rozwija temat równości w naszej instytucji. Dzięki pracy prelegentów, ludzi, którzy swoją pasją, determinacją pokazują, jak wiele można osiągnąć, gdy tworzy się przestrzeń dla różnorodnych talentów. Niech ich historie przypominają nam, że przyszłość Europy zależy od tego, czy potrafimy docenić i wykorzystać systemowe wsparcie rozwoju. To nie dodatki, lecz fundamenty silnej, odpornej i innowacyjnej Europy. Przy tym wzbogacały naszą wspólną przyszłość. Równość płci nie jest więc jedynie wartością, jest warunkiem. Europejskie społeczeństwa i gospodarki mogą w pełni korzystać.
E così questo qua te lo stabilizzi contro. Ok, qua vedi tipo ti è passato mano al focus, quindi per essere sicuro che lo prenda bene devi cercare.
Grazie.
Dove voi abbiamo previsto dei posti anche per guarda, ti dirò
Io quei due ragazzi li vedo in piedi là con questo movimento.
La Presidente del Parlamento Roberta Metsola, che ringrazio per il suo lavoro e per il suo affiancamento quotidiano, non può essere qui con noi, ma ci ha tenuto a mandarci un suo messaggio, e quindi proiettiamo il video ringraziandola sempre per la grande forza che mette nel suo mandato e la grande...
Podczas 6. edycji Europejskiego Tygodnia Równości Płci. Jako wiceprzewodnicząca Parlamentu Europejskiego odpowiedzialna za kwestie równości i różnorodności traktuję to wydarzenie jako wyjątkową okazję do refleksji nad tym, jak wiele już osiągnęliśmy i jak wiele wciąż pozostaje do zrobienia. Hasło tegorocznej edycji trafnie oddaje jedno z kluczowych wyzwań, przed którymi stoi dziś Europa. Określić rolę kobiet w odkrywaniu, rozwijaniu i wykorzystywaniu talentów. Kobiety wnoszą różnorodne perspektywy. kreatywne pomysły i determinacje, które wzbogacają nasze społeczeństwo, ale jednocześnie wciąż napotykają na różne bariery. Od stereotypów i nierówności w dostępie do edukacji i awansu, po wyzwania związane z
And I turn now to our keynote speaker, Executive Vice President of the European Commission, and Abia Kulen, thank you for accepting this panel. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, dear Vice President Sperna, Vice President Kopas. Creating the conditions for every talent to shine is very close to our mission. Because equality is not only about fairness, it's about our growth, our innovation, and our competitiveness. Our prosperity in Europe is threatened by the widening talent gap, as we know. And this is representing only 19% of ICT specialists, and also 1/3 of STEM graduates. We see also that this imbalance is very deeply problematic. Not only because women, they can provide diverse perspectives into design and development of technology, boosting innovation, but also because we cannot afford to exclude half of our talent from such very vital sector. And this is not only a social gap for us, it's also very